Hidden in the deserts of the American Southwest, thousands of aircraft sit frozen in time. Some will never fly again. Others are waiting, silently, until the world needs them once more. The secrets of the desert aircraft boneyards. What happens when an aircraft reaches the end of its service life? When its missions are over and its engines fall silent, the story is far from finished. Across the arid deserts of the southwestern United States, thousands of aircraft are gathered in vast open spaces known as aircraft boneyards, places where aviation history is preserved, dismantled, and sometimes reborn. Driving along South Kolb Road on the edge of Tucson, Arizona, the suburban landscape suddenly gives way to an extraordinary sight. Row after row of military aircraft stretch across the desert floor, motionless beneath the relentless sun. Cargo planes, bombers, transport aircraft, and legendary fighter jets sit frozen in time, including Hercules freighters and the iconic F-14 Tomcats made famous by Top Gun. It feels less like a storage facility and more like an open-air museum of modern warfare and aviation technology. This remarkable site is Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, home to the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, commonly known as AMARG. Covering nearly 2,600 acres, the base holds approximately 4,400 aircraft, making it the largest aircraft storage and preservation facility in the world. To those who work there, it carries a more evocative nickname, one rooted in Arizona's frontier past. They simply call it the Boneyard. At first glance, many of the aircraft appear ready to fly again, as if they were parked only hours ago. Others are wrapped in protective white coatings designed to shield them from sand, heat, and dust. Inside massive hangars, planes are carefully dismantled, their usable components cataloged and stored. These spare parts are later shipped to air bases across the United States and around the world, allowing other aircraft to remain operational long after production lines have closed. Davis-Monthan is not the only desert aircraft boneyard, but it is the most significant. Its location is no accident. The dry desert climate of southern Arizona, characterized by low humidity, minimal rainfall, and stable temperatures, dramatically slows corrosion. Metal airframes degrade far more slowly here than they would in coastal or humid regions, making the desert the perfect environment for long-term aircraft storage. Beyond their practical function, desert aircraft boneyards offer a rare glimpse into decades of military, technological, and geopolitical history. Each aircraft tells a story of the era it served, the conflicts it witnessed, and the rapid evolution of aviation itself. These silent fleets, resting beneath open skies, are not just relics of the past, they are living archives of human ingenuity, power, and ambition. In the end, the secrets of the desert aircraft boneyards are not about decay, but preservation. In the stillness of the desert, the history of flight waits patiently, ready to be remembered. What makes this desert landscape even more suitable lies just beneath the surface. Under the top 6 inches of soil is a dense, clay-like layer known as caliche. This extremely hard natural subsoil acts almost like concrete, allowing massive aircraft to be parked directly on the desert floor without the need for expensive paved runways or parking ramps. According to the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, this unique geological feature plays a crucial role in keeping costs low while supporting the weight of thousands of aircraft. Aircraft are among the most complex and expensive machines ever built. Even after their final flight, they retain significant value. Engines, avionics, landing gear, and countless other components can be reused, refurbished, or repurposed. However, storing retired aircraft in traditional hangars would require enormous space and constant climate control, driving costs into the billions. The dry desert air around Tucson provides a natural alternative, keeping aircraft preserved without the expense of artificial protection. This combination of climate and geography explains why many of the world's largest aircraft boneyards are located in the deserts of the southwestern United States. Places like Arizona offer ideal conditions that simply cannot be replicated in wetter or colder regions. The desert slows corrosion, prevents mold, and reduces structural decay, allowing aircraft to remain intact for decades. Yet storing a plane at Davis-Monthan is far more complex than simply landing it, parking it in a row, and walking away. Many aircraft are classified as inactive rather than retired, meaning they must remain capable of returning to service if required. Achieving that readiness demands careful preparation. Fuel systems are drained or stabilized, sensitive components are sealed, openings are protected, and engines are preserved against deterioration. Each aircraft is methodically catalogued, inspected, and maintained to ensure it can be restored to operational condition if the need ever arises. In the silence of the desert, these aircraft may appear dormant, but behind the scenes, the work of preservation never truly stops. The secrets of the desert aircraft boneyards lie not only in where these planes are stored, but in how carefully their future possibilities are protected. Broken bombers. For the men and women who work at the boneyard, storing an aircraft is a precise and highly controlled process. Each plane arrives with its own history, but all must pass through the same exhaustive checklist before they can be safely preserved in the desert. Aircraft that once operated from aircraft carriers require special attention. Years at sea expose them to salt air, which accelerates corrosion. Before anything else can be done, these planes are thoroughly washed to remove every trace of salt that could eat away at their metal frames over time. Next comes the fuel system. All fuel tanks and fuel lines are completely drained, then flushed with a light, viscous oil, similar to the oil used in fine machinery. This coating ensures that moving parts remain lubricated and protected from internal corrosion during years, or even decades, of storage. Safety is another critical concern. Any explosive devices still on board, including the small charges used to activate ejection seats, are carefully removed. Only once the aircraft is rendered fully inert can the preservation process continue. Every opening that might allow dust, insects, or moisture inside the aircraft is sealed. Air intakes, exhausts, and ducts are covered with aluminum tape, creating a tight barrier against the harsh desert environment. Finally, the aircraft is coated in a distinctive protective paint. 2 layers of black are applied first, followed by a final white layer designed to reflect sunlight. This easily strippable coating helps deflect the intense desert heat, keeping the aircraft cooler and slowing long-term degradation. When the process is complete, the aircraft is towed into its place among the rows of silent bombers and fighters. Though grounded, it is not forgotten. Preserved with care, each plane waits, either as a source of parts, a historical artifact, or a machine that could one day fly again. Aircraft at the boneyard are preserved at different levels of restoration, depending on their future role. Some are kept in near operational condition, carefully maintained so they can be returned to the skies if required. Others are deliberately placed into partial dismantlement, serving as long-term reserves of parts rather than flyable machines. Among the most striking aircraft stored at Davis-Monthan are retired B-52 Stratofortress bombers, long-range aircraft once capable of carrying nuclear weapons. Their presence reflects not only military history, but global politics. Under strategic arms limitation treaties between the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War, these bombers were rendered visibly inoperable. Their wings were removed and placed beside the fuselage, a deliberate arrangement designed so Soviet surveillance satellites could easily verify that the aircraft had been taken out of service. In this way, the desert became a stage for trust, verification, and uneasy cooperation between rival superpowers. Other aircraft at the boneyard serve a more practical purpose. Many remain intact on the outside, but function as mobile warehouses for spare parts. Engines, avionics, landing gear, and structural components are removed only when needed, extending the operational lives of active aircraft across the globe. For planes that have truly reached the end of the line, the process is final. On site, a dedicated smelter allows surplus aircraft to be shredded and completely recycled. Aluminum, steel, and other metals are recovered and reused, ensuring that even in destruction, nothing goes to waste. Yet perhaps the boneyard's most overlooked asset lies not in the aircraft themselves, but in what surrounds them. Davis-Monthan houses approximately 400,000 pieces of specialized tooling and machinery, equipment once used to manufacture aircraft that are no longer in production. With original assembly lines long since shut down, these tools are often the only way to create replacement parts. As a result, aircraft flying all over the world, not just those operated by the United States, depend on components sourced from this desert stockpile. Quietly and efficiently, the boneyard supports global aviation, linking grounded aircraft in Arizona to active fleets thousands of miles away. In the stillness of the desert, the aircraft may appear forgotten. But in reality, Davis-Monthan remains one of the most important aviation facilities on Earth, where history, technology, and geopolitics continue to intersect. Post-Soviet boneyards. As long as there are aircraft flying, military and commercial aircraft boneyards will always be necessary to keep other planes in the air, explains aviation author Nick Veronico, who has visited not only Davis-Monthan, but also the Mojave Air and Spaceport and other desert storage facilities across the United States. According to Veronico, each aircraft boneyard plays multiple roles within the aviation ecosystem. Some aircraft are stored temporarily, awaiting upgrades or reactivation. Others are carefully dismantled so their usable components can be inspected, overhauled, and returned to service. Finally, aircraft that have reached the true end of their operational lives are broken down entirely. These functions, he notes, are not separate processes but interconnected stages in the long life cycle of an aircraft. Veronico's connection to the boneyard is not merely academic. He recalls flying on aircraft that had once been parked in storage, their parts preserved and later reinstalled into active service. He has watched components removed from retired planes, then later boarded aircraft powered and sustained by those very same salvaged parts. In this way, the boneyard quietly extends the life of aviation itself. Yet not all aircraft boneyards serve the same purpose, or enjoy the same conditions. In Russia, several post-Soviet boneyards hold the remnants of the former Soviet Union's vast military air fleet. Unlike the carefully managed facilities of the American desert, many of these aircraft were simply abandoned after the Cold War ended. Without funding, maintenance, or long-term planning, they were left where they last stood. One of the most striking examples lies at Vozdivizhenka, a former bomber base located roughly 60 miles north of Vladivostok in Russia's Far East. Once a highly secretive installation, the base housed Soviet supersonic bombers at the height of Cold War tensions. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the aircraft became surplus overnight. Instead of being preserved, dismantled, or recycled, they were simply left behind. Today, the base stands abandoned. Rusted bombers sit exposed to the elements, their metal frames slowly decaying. The perimeter fences have fallen into disrepair, allowing photographers and explorers to wander among the silent aircraft. What was once a symbol of military power has become a haunting reminder of a vanished superpower and a stark contrast to the carefully ordered rows of aircraft in the deserts of the American Southwest. Together, these post-Soviet aircraft graveyards reveal another side of the story. Aircraft boneyards are not only about storage and reuse, they are also reflections of political stability, economic resources, and how nations choose to manage the legacy of their military past. Driving across California's high desert, the airliner boneyard at Mojave Airport becomes visible long before you reach it. Aviation photographer Troy Pava, who documented the site extensively in the 1990s and early 2000s, described seeing the facility from miles away. Long rows of fading airline tail fins stretch toward the horizon, silent markers of changing fortunes in global aviation. Once accessible to photographers, the site is now largely closed off due to security concerns, adding to its mystique. From an engineering perspective, aircraft are surprisingly manageable at the end of their lives. Keith Hayward of the Royal Aeronautical Society notes that, compared with ships or other heavy transport, aircraft present fewer challenges during dismantling. What is assembled can usually be taken apart, and aircraft contain far fewer hazardous materials than large seagoing vessels. Yet the future may not look the same as the past. Modern aircraft rely increasingly on composite materials rather than traditional metals, reducing the amount that can be easily recycled. While industry protocols are evolving to address this shift, it may eventually shrink the vast scale of today's desert aircraft boneyards. Even so, storage facilities will remain essential. Aircraft boneyards play a critical role when airline demand fluctuates. The number of parked airliners is closely watched by industry analysts, often serving as a visible indicator of economic slowdown or recovery. In this way, the deserts silently record the pulse of the global economy. Back in Tucson, the endless rows of aircraft at Davis-Monthan continue to rest beneath the Arizona sun. For some, the desert has become a final resting place, an aviation retirement home where service ends in stillness. For others, this is only a pause. Preserved, protected, and carefully maintained, their flying days are not quite over. These silent fleets reveal the true secrets of the desert aircraft boneyards. They are not simply graveyards, but living systems, where history is stored, technology is reused, and the future of flight quietly waits. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of aviation history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to History Love, and turn on notifications for more documentary-style stories from the past. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which forgotten places of history you'd like to explore next.